Hello and welcome into Anchorage Bucs baseball alongside my partner Will Hopkins. Big Masley here at Mulcahy Stadium on a scorcher of a day up here in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
About into the 70s up here, but the sun is shining. Not a cloud over top. It is blue skies here, and we're in for a good one. Will, it is the Anchorage Bucs versus the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The Bucs are 1-2 against the Glacier Pilots to start this year. Took a 3-2 loss just a couple of days ago versus the same Glacier Pilots team. We saw really good pitching. The bats were a little bit quiet from the Bucs, but going back to last game, really good pitching from Drew Welk. He went 5 innings, just gave up that one hit. No runs, had one walk versus a really good and disciplined Bucks team who's been scoring a lot of runs. They've been getting a lot of hits, a lot of walks too. Didn't have any strikeouts, so that was the one bright spot. We saw the bats were putting it in play. Just nothing really to show for it. So for today, coming back after a win, Will, a loss after the Pilots and then a win just yesterday versus the Chinooks. How do you think that the Bucks can keep building on these successes?
Yeah, something about these pilots just doesn't have the Bucks quite at their best, but we saw them lose opening day 3-0. Next matchup against the Pilots winning 7-0. So I do expect the Bucks to bounce back whenever these bats are quiet. It's never for multiple games in
Mm-hmm.
a row and it's never an extreme issue. We saw them bounce back in a big way yesterday. Ryan Callahan, a large part of the
Mm-hmm.
offensive success, 8 runs, and for Callahan, it was 3 hits in a walk. He was never retired at the plate. Also picked up a couple of RBIs, and he was just one guy of many who had a successful day. Max Ross with a couple of
Mm-hmm.
hits. So I'm not too worried about this offense. And in all honesty, the offense might not have to do all that much with Halverson on the mound.
Yep, Wyatt Halverson, as you just previewed too, is on the hill. He was the opening day starter for the Bucks. Pitched really well there. His last start out versus the Chinooks at Chugiak went 5 innings pitched, gave up just 3 hits, 2 runs, and was really efficient in that game. We saw a lot of good stuff from him. And with that view that we had, we were right behind home plate, so we saw that electric fastball that he has. We saw that breaking ball that he was landing, putting wherever he wanted. Those 2 runs off of him were well earned, I will say, from these Chinooks hitters. But as far as the Glacier Pilots go, have not been hitting that well and have struggled. Even 3 runs against the Bucks, that was some of the most they've scored against a really good pitching staff. So they were happy to get 3 runs off the Bucks just a couple days ago. But with Halverson on the hill, it might be tough, right?
Yeah, for the Bucks, another reason, not only just the pitching of Halverson, but the struggling bats of the Pilots to make you think, hey, if the Bucks can get 5, 6 runs, that should be plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they have a solid approach at the plate, knowing they just need to get guys on base, move them over. No reason to try to do more than you need to.
And on the hill for the visiting Glacier Pilots will be Braden Rush. We'll talk about him and get more into Halverson as well as starting lineups and more. We'll take a little bit of a break. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Welcome back here to Mulcahy Stadium. Just about 7 minutes away from first pitch here. Bucks versus Glacier Pilots on the hill. We mentioned it before. For the Bucks, we'll see Wyatt Halverson go out there first on the hill. And like I mentioned, versus the Chinooks, when we went to Chugiak a week back, he went 5 innings, gave up just 3 hits, 2 runs. Like I said, well-earned hits and runs. And had 7 strikeouts to just 2 walks. So we saw, like I said, that electric fastball. He was spinning the breaking ball really well. We had a great vantage point for it. Just looked really dialed in, and the pace. I was talking about his pacing a lot. He uses really good pace. He's not too fast. He's not too slow. He's very consistent, but he also varies a lot of his stuff to kind of throw off runners, base runners. But he didn't really have that many with the 2 walks and the 3 hits. Not a lot of traffic on the bases. He did well getting out of it. And going back to his first start, Will, versus the Pilots, where we didn't get the win, but Howerson pitched to Jim.
Yeah, super unlucky for him to not pick up a win. Went 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and 10 strikeouts. Makes that 7 against the Chinooks look like nothing, and a walk. Definitely one of the best strikeout pitchers that the ABL has to offer, and he'll be looking to strike out these Pilots today.
Yeah, and on the hill for the Pilots is Braden Rush. And for Rush, in his one game that we have on record so far, it was a pretty good game, right?
Yeah, that was back on the 7th against the Miners. Only 3 innings, but did his job in the short stint. 1 hit, no runs, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks.
So Braden Rush and Wyatt Halverson on the hill today. The umpires meet at home plate. We will give you the starting lineups for both squads, starting with the visiting Glacier Pilots. Will?
Yep, it'll be Hunter Backstrom to lead things off as the designated hitter. Luke Hefner gets to start at shortstop, batting second, and Dylan Marks rounds out the top three, playing second base. Luke Stolga in left field bats fourth with Chase Knight on the hot corner, batting fifth. Other corner outfielder Jack Dorn mans the sixth spot. Jake Dodge will play first base and bat seventh with Evan Chadwick behind the plate, batting eighth, and Logan Sanders roaming out in center, batting ninth. So Backstrom, Hefner, and Marks, Stolga, Knight, and Dorn, Dodge, Chadwick, and Sanders. And that Hefner of the Luke variety and that Sanders of the Logan variety. Always got to be clear with these Pilots. Braden Rush once again on the mound. And for the hometown Bucks, Zane Kelly will lead things off, get another start over in right field. Andrew Lamb will be behind the plate and batting second, and Will Burns back at shortstop batting third. Adam Enyart in left will bat cleanup with Ryan Callahan over at first base batting fifth after a great game at third yesterday. Brett Castillo will serve as tonight's designated hitter batting sixth with Max Ross back out in center field after a great game yesterday batting seventh. Christian Powell gets back in the lineup today. He'll play second base and bat eighth with Nolan Cusey on the hot corner batting ninth. So once again for the Bucks, it's Kelly, Lamb, and Burns, Enyart, Callahan, and Castillo, Ross, Powell, and Cusey with Wyatt Halverson on the mound. Halverson, 6'3", 220 out of Arizona State, was just a freshman there this year. 38 innings pitched, 7.82 ERA, 20 appearances, 7 of them starts, 54 strikeouts, and half as many walks. 27 is the count there. And on the other side of things, we'll see in the bottom of the first inning, Braden Rush. He's out of Illinois State. He'll be a senior there this year, transferred from University of Illinois Springfield in 2023. He had a 4.45 ERA in 32 and a third innings pitched at Springfield. This past year at Illinois State, a bit higher of an ERA, 7.45 and 19 and a third. Didn't make any starts, but has started so far in the ABL, so shouldn't be a problem for him. Out of Gibson City, Illinois, where as a senior had a .53 ERA at Gibson City Melwin Sibley High School. Also played basketball there. He stands 6'2", 155. And as the Bucks and the Pilots lineups get announced here at Mulcahy Stadium, we're just moments away from the national anthem. So we'll take a short break to avoid any copyright issues. And after the anthem, we'll be back and have first pitch for you shortly.
DH in the leadoff spot, interestingly enough. Next one from Halverson misses up and away.
Definitely not something that you see every day.
Halverson looks in, he gets his sign, the 1-1. It's a called strike. Halverson was really sharp last time out versus the Chinooks. We saw him right behind field level, so we had a good look and just spinning it really well, and the fastball looks like it has a lot of life to it. 1-2 on the outside corner, doesn't get the call.
Really wanted that one. Heard some noise out of the Bucs dugout. They're always looking for that strike 3 call.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Wyatt Halverson is swung on and missed on the outer half, but got the swing and miss that time. Backstrom couldn't lay off. So a swinging strike to start things. 1 down here in the first.
Great start for Halverson. We know that he's a big strikeout pitcher. 17 through his first 2 starts. These Pilots struggle to get hits, so should be a good matchup for Halverson, but anything can happen. Definitely needs to still be cautious. These are guys coming from good programs.
Big swing and a miss from the next batter, Luke Hefner. We saw really good defensive plays out of him last time out. The 3-2 loss versus the Pilots. Halverson wheels around an 0-1, and it's in the dirt. After Hefner, Dylan Marks, and then Luke Stolga, if they can get that far. Bucs in their camo jerseys. White base with black spots around it as well as gray. Bucs written across the chest in yellow. Next one's just gets a piece of it foul. One ball, 2 strikes. Halverson delivers. Called strike 3. There's another one. And Halverson looks really good to start here, Will.
Yeah, whether it's swinging, looking, doesn't matter. These guys are struggling at the plate, and Halverson says thank you very much. 2 quick strikeouts for the big righty.
Should expect to see a good bit of strikeouts from him. That's his main method of getting outs, or at least his main attempt at trying to get outs is strikeouts as he starts Dylan Marks out with a fastball in the outer half. Halverson with that good pace. Big swing and a miss there, and he's ahead 0-2. 1 pitch away from striking out the side. Halverson, interesting enough, stands right in the middle of that rubber. Doesn't favor a single side. It gives him the ability to work on both sides of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Halverson strikes out the side. Swinging, looking, and swinging again. A 1-2-3 inning. So nothing going for the Pilots. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head to the bottom half of the first. The Bucs coming up.
In the top half of the first, now runs strong.
Bottom half of the first inning, Wyatt Halverson struck out the side. 2 swinging strikeouts in that looking one. He looked really sharp. So Zane Kelly, the leadoff hitter today. I believe it's his first game leading off for the Bucs. We found him in the 2-hole and the 3-hole before. His bat, I don't believe he's bat towards the end of the lineup, but he's been about a 2-hole guy usually, but now gets the leadoff spot. Does have a good bit of speed. After him will be Andrew Lamb, who moves up. Seen him now, not just at every position almost, outfield, infield, catcher, but we've seen him at a bunch of different spots towards the end of the lineup, middle, and now at the top in the 2-hole. 2 balls, no strikes quickly to Zane Kelly. He takes a called strike.
See some of you in the chat talking about the video problems. We're brainstorming, trying to figure out a way to get that fixed for you. The heat, definitely not our friend today, but do the best we can to get that improved here quickly.
Now 3-1 to Zane Kelly. The Bucs bats, we've been talking about it a lot, have great plate discipline. Drawing a bunch of walks as of late. Next one misses upstairs, and a leadoff walk to Zane Kelly gets things started for the Bucs.
Saw the Bucs take a bunch of walks in the first inning yesterday. 4 already. The first man to the plate gets a free pass to first.
And all these hitters have the same approach when they get ahead in the count, and that's just see as many pitches as possible and try to work it a little bit. And don't fish it anything out of the zone. They've just done a good job at laying off bad pitches. Not even that Rush's pitches were not hittable. They just weren't really on the plate. That one's way off the plate to Andrew Lamb. Lamb is the catcher tonight. We remind you that he's played also in both outfield corners, and he's played on the infield as well. 1-0. Called strike on the outer half, a little bit of a delayed call.
Delayed indeed. I already had that one marked down as a ball.
Infield straight up for Lamb. Shortstop Luke Hefner shading over towards second just a little bit. The 1-1 misses outside. Two one misses outside again. Another 3-ball, 1-strike count, and it's to Andrew Lamb with Will Burns awaiting on deck. Rush brings it. That one's outside, not anywhere near. 2 walks to start. Not how you want to have Will Burns walk up to the plate. 2 on, nobody out. Burns has been almost a mainstay in that cleanup spot. Now moves up a little bit in the order with Eisenstadt and Carlone out. And a little interesting that the Bucs are not utilizing both of those guys.
Interesting for sure, but hopefully one of these Bucs, given the opportunity higher up in the order, can do some damage.
Pitch to Burns, swung on and missed. Rush comes set again right at the chest. Pitch, and it looks like it crossed up Evan Chadwick over there behind home plate.
Yeah, he reached one way, and then halfway between the mound and home plate for the ball, he turned back the other way. Not sure what was going on there, but didn't go to the mound to have a chat with Rush, which I feel like he would normally do if he was crossed up. So maybe that ball just fooled him, but did know what pitch was coming.
1 ball, 1 strike. Rush comes set at the chest. The pitch. This is inside.
Really struggling with his command here. 10 balls and 3 strikes for the lefty.
Will Burns, one of those guys that's also very disciplined at the plate, is taking a lot of walks. But he's also mashed the ball too. See if he can get a hold of one now with a 2 ball, 1 strike count. Here it is. Catches the inside part of the plate. Burns tips his head out. Didn't really agree with that call from the home plate umpire. Burns, also one of those guys not really to have something to say for the home plate umpire. He's a pretty quiet guy. But they're a little visibly frustrated with that call in the inner half. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rush. A lot of traffic on the base so far as that one misses upstairs. Count runs full.
Just unable to consistently find the strike zone right now.
So Rush trying to retire Burns for the first out. As that one's popped up into the infield, Jake Dodge behind first base will call everyone off, and he'll make the grab for out number 1.
Umpires had pointed for an infield fly there.
Now batting left fielder from St. Mary's
So
University,
one down, the
24,
fly out to
Adam Henry.
first. That'll bring up Adam Inyard. Yesterday, Inyard, a really good game. Had a base hit, drove in 2 runs. Also scored himself. Trying to play to run here, maybe 2 if he can find a gap. Kelly at second, Lamb at first, as that one's a called strike. Rush taking his time on the hill. Like I said, a lot of traffic to begin with.